All right, my rays of sunshine. It's Thursday night. It's Thursday night at 6 o'clock. So, what do we have? We have our book club. And right now, we are doing a book by Jerry B. Jenkins. It's called. All right. Now, I know a couple of y'all aren't going to be on here tonight. Sheila is with her sister in the hospital. So, we need to pray that God's will be done with her sister. She's in intensive care. And I'm not sure if Mara's coming back. Mara had surgery last week and didn't make book club. So I'm hoping she's doing better and she'll be here. So it's a quiet night. We're getting ready to have a hellacious gambling. We know it's coming. All right, I see two. Give me a comment. Give me a hi. Let me know who you are. Well, this week, who are there, Mara? Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you're doing well, baby. How did your surgery go? All in one at a time. Hi, sweetie. All right. So, Mara, let me know how you're feeling, honey. And by the way, Sheila will not be with us tonight. Her sister is in intensive care, and she is with her sister. So we need to pray also that God's will be done in her sister's life. As Mara, we all know God is the master healer. So, all right. I prayed over. Oh, yes. Sounds scary, Mara. I don't blame you. That sounds scary. I probably would have called it off too. Yeah. Wow. Ooh, electrocution. Nope, that's not fun. But are you feeling better? Because obviously you needed the surgery to help you feel better. So I'm hoping that you're feeling better. Yes, prayers for your sister. Exactly right. Yeah. So hopefully she'll keep us updated in the comments when this post. No, I don't know why, but after I close the live down, it takes the system up to 4 hours to post it as a video. So I'm hoping when that post that Sheila will leave a comment and let us know. God said no. You got to listen to God. You got to listen to God. And we're going to find out about listening to God in this book because I believe chapter 8 ended with Elizabeth listening to God or trying to listen to God, hoping she's thick-skulled and will listen to God. Andres, Greece. Oh, hi, sweet. How was your weather in Greece? I can understand that. Okay, so good. And you know, it's always good to get a second opinion from different practice, from different doctors, or even a different hospital if you have to. I've done that before surgeries. In fact, I've had the problem with I went into a hospital and was being treated when I had the 2 blood clots in my lungs last fall. And I didn't feel the doctors were treating me. I wasn't getting better. I was just in pain, couldn't breathe. So I had my primary care do an order and I left from ambulance from one hospital to another. So there is nothing wrong with second opinions. You better look out for yourself and pray. God will guide us. You did exactly right, Mara. 10K. All right. Well, we've got some groups on here tonight. All right. So our assignment this week was to read chapter 5, 6, 7, and 8. I usually try to pick about 50 pages because I know we all have busy schedules. So, what did we get out of this week? Alam. Where am I from? I'm in Virginia, United States, in Virginia. Now, I was born and raised in North Carolina, but I currently live in Virginia. Where are you from? Injuries, Jesus, your Wi-Fi. I don't quite understand that, but all right. So y'all are so sweet. All right. So let's start talking about the book. Egypt. Oh, when I was younger, I wanted to be an archaeologist. I just loved Egyptology. Oh my goodness. Loved it. I have a question. What's your question, sweetie? I'll wait. This is y'all's time. Ask any question you want. Your internet connection is not good, so the quality is low, is what he means. Oh, really? Like I said, we've got thunder all around us. It's raining, and I'm expecting lightning at any time. So it's just, unfortunately, we go on towers for our internet, and the skies aren't very clear. So I'm sorry. How do you feel about the abduction of children? Well, that's really not on point for our book, but I feel strongly taking a child from their family. I think the person that does those kind of things needs help, needs mental help. What book are you reading? We're reading, and I don't know if this is going to show up backwards for you, but it's Jerry B. Jenkins, and it's Though None Go With Me. And this is the second week. The first week we read chapters 1 through 4. This week we read chapters 5 through 8. Now you can get this book at the library. You can get it on Audible. I got this one, I think, for like $8 on Amazon. Oh, I got a glare. Sorry about that. All right. Do you see my comments? I see that comment. Yes. All right. You look okay. Question. What's your content? Well, let's start talking about the book. Mara, you still with me? All right. Hold on. Somebody's trying to call me. Let me shut that up. All right. Well, we've been talking about Elizabeth Grace. And where we left off last week, her father passed away. Well, where we opened up this week is that his death was still very painful for her. She was still mourning. So what did she do? She got herself busy. She became active in the church. She taught, she sang, she played piano and everything to keep herself active. But what I thought was interesting, that she said when she busied herself from the grief to get her mind off the grief, she found it got her closer to God. And that's what we all can find. And she found solace in prayer. And that's with anyone, even when we have our best friend. and we talk to him and confide in him. It just makes us feel better to talk about a situation that's bothering us. Her solace prayer to God was how she was getting all those things off her chest. And she also, like me, Psalms. She found comfort in Psalms. Psalms is my favorite book, the entire Bible, because you can get wisdom, you can get strength, you can get confirmation. I mean, you can get harsh condemnation and punch you too. It's somebody's mine. I just think Will and her made such a better couple. Oh, okay, Mar. Don't jump too far ahead. Hold on. Got some thoughts on that. All right. So, um, we had Elizabeth going, and she loved to go to camp every year. This is when she and Phillips 2 summers or last summer, she had been there and seen him speak. So they got in contact and they sort of, this was her first, I believe she said this was the first male she'd ever talked to alone, with the exception of Will. So they seemed to give a little head over heels really, really fast. She was working and they worked her like a dog. And what they say back then, $1 a day, what she was getting paid. I'm not sure in 1917 whether $1 a day, how that rated in the pay scale. So then we share interesting character. Then we have Will. Remember the first few chapters, I had said it sounded like Elizabeth and Will were going to get together. I mean, they've been best friends forever. But sometimes that person that's your best friend, it just sneaks up on you, don't realize, wait a minute, I love this person. This person's for me. So I got that sensation in the first 4 chapters. So Will and her had a lot in common. Will had recently lost his father also. What I thought was interesting about Will is when Will confronted her, and I guess he didn't know how to ask her, but he told her, God told me, we're getting married. You're to be my wife. Which caught her totally off guard, only because she had been in the relationship with Ben. So, and I'm going to talk a little more about Ben. I think Ben's a little shady. And when Agatha is, I mean, when Ben came back over the Christmas holiday and visited her at her home and Aunt Agatha, he was so rude to her. And Aunt Agatha was so rude to Elizabeth in front of him. So Aunt Agatha was just, in fact, what did Marlon Beck, the executor, said the aunt was a criminal. The aunt gave 1/4 of the value of that house, 1/4 of the value. Ridiculous. And then kicked her out in the winter because she wanted to sell it and make a profit. We discussed the aunt being entitled in the first 4 chapters. She had no affection. I don't think she had affection for her brother, Elizabeth's father, but no affection. It was just a job to her. And now she was reaping the benefits because Elizabeth was a good person. And unfortunately, Elizabeth got taken advantage of. But what I did like was that when Elizabeth and Ben got engaged, it was quiet. It was hush hush. Now, I don't know about you, but when I got engaged, I told the world. I was so happy. But, and she even wanted to just tell Will, but Ben said no. So that disturbs me a little bit about Ben. So once she got kicked out, she had prayed on what to do because she had a little bit of money from the house sale. And Will Bishop and his family run a boarding house. So she moved in with them. And I think that's bringing Will and her closer together. Will is talking more, he's opening up more, and he takes her to school every morning, picks her up. So I think that relationship is blossoming. But like I said, I felt it in the first 4 chapters. But he said, God said they were going to be married. God said it's supposed to be. But have been to any age group. I mean, any age group he could preach and talk to, and he could get their interest, make it exciting for them. So he was strong in his faith and his communication skills. And I did like the one night where she had thought they were going to meet, and the missing note that didn't show up till the next day. I like the way he put Philippians 1, chapter 1, verses 3 through 6 in there to tell her that secret message of he loves her and she's his and whatnot using scripture. I had never heard anybody use Philippians like that. So I thought that was interesting. But now we have him being drafted. It's 1917, so he's being drafted into World War One. Very entitled. Yeah, I wish she would. I wish Elizabeth would have listened to Marlon Beck, the lawyer, but has Aunt Agatha rubbed in her face, even though Elizabeth said it out of anger, that you can make any value on the house you want and it's yours. She said it out of anger, but Aunt Agatha almost used it like a dagger to hold her to that because she was, according to Aunt Agatha, a martyr. No, didn't care for Aunt Agatha at all. Either we're not going to hear anything else about Aunt Agatha or Aunt Agatha's going to pass away. So, yeah, using Philippians for night touch. So, we've got them. Elizabeth and Ben are quietly engaged, can't tell anybody. And Elizabeth, after being kicked out by her aunt, is living at Will Bishop's parents' boarding house. And I did think it was interesting, and I'm hoping further along in the book it pinpoints more. But did you notice when Elizabeth would go and help Ben's mother, set the table, prepare the meals, do the cleaning, whatever, his mother didn't know how to receive that. And that tells me by her answer, well, this is not going to make you have to pay less. You still have to pay the full. I'm not taking off anything for you to. It just makes me realize that Ben's mother never experienced care, concern, a true friendship. Because all those things, you want to help that person. And it didn't sound like she was used to getting any help anywhere. Sons, daughter-in-laws, it just doesn't sound like she was getting help. Sounds like she was doing the whole thing by herself. So I'm hoping her heart will soften to Elizabeth because Elizabeth is trying to help her and make it easier for her. And just basically Elizabeth's trying to do the right thing. So let's see. All right. So now she's living at the boarding house. Ben's been drafted World War One, and Elizabeth is writing him. Elizabeth is writing him constantly, but she's getting nothing back from him. She contacted his parents. They're writing him. They haven't heard from him. So she just, got on her thinking cap and she said, where can I go? She went to senators, to representatives, to people in the military. She wanted answers. Well, she got a telegram. The telegram said that, yes, he had been receiving his mail. Okay. They left. When he left, they're engaged, planning on being married. And now he's not responding to letters he's getting. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. And I'm going to tell you why. World War I was a nasty war. I think one of two things has happened to him. I think he got wounded and he's either in a hospital, or I think he got captured and he's in a POW camp. Because from what we see about his character, I just can't believe he would just ignore his parents and ignore Elizabeth. So I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to find out. I mean, we'll find out in the next chapters. But his personality, his character, it just didn't mesh. Something's not right there. It's not that he's found somebody else or no, it doesn't sound right. And besides his parents, why wouldn't he respond to his parents? Let's see, that's why I've been active the way he did. I didn't have that much appropriate upbringing. Oh, I can relate to that, Lauren. You know, my story. My mother abandoned me when I was 18 months old. So, raised by grandparents, but it was abusive. They were alcoholics. But I'm here now. God's brought me through. So, we don't talk about the past. The past is the past. We live for the future. We live for those pearly gates of heaven. So, I think that's what's happened to him. And in the end of the 8th chapter, I think it's a combination of living at the boarding house with Will, having Will take her back and forth to school and anywhere she needed to go. So they're getting more of a bond. And you can see in the book, she's even commenting that Will is talking more now than he has in their whole relationship. And it sounds like they met pretty much in primary school. So this has got her thinking. Her and Will are getting closer. Her and Ben are getting further apart. And why are they getting further apart? Because her mind's going crazy. Because he's not answering her letters. So now we find her at the end of chapter 8, where we had to stop, unfortunately, because it's just getting good, that she is questioning. She is praying to God and questioning. She is regretting saying yes, that she would marry Ben too soon and before she'd prayed to God for guidance. So now she is praying for guidance. And basically, she's questioning who she should marry. And I like the way she compared the two men. She said, I've got to pick between better and the best. So she gives both high marks. And we know Will, still doing his side job, still taking care of things. But now he's gone to school and he's an accountant. So Will has made something of himself. But that's basically what I have from my notes from reading chapters 5 through 8. So tell me, what else did you find? Let's see. That's right, Mara. We both survived. God is awesome. God is awesome. So, can anybody think of any high points or any things that I might have missed? I mean, this is what stood out to me, and this is how I put it all together. All right, Mara, what else did you find? Is that about it? Well, if that's about it, we're going to go ahead and end it. Next week, we're going to read chapters 9, 10, 11, and 12. And hopefully, we'll have Sheila back with us. So, but please, all of you, keep her sister in your prayers and keep Sheila in your prayers that God's will be done. And Mara, we're praying for you too, sweetie, that you can heal and find a good doctor that can treat you, but treat you how you need to be treated, not over treated, not with all this extra stuff and bells and whistles and experiments sometimes they like to do. So we're going to be praying for you. And if anybody else needs prayer, always leave it in the comments. I have a prayer list and I want to help you and help you get closer to God. Now, I don't think this book so far has hit the point where everything's happening, but by her leading up and asking God which one she should marry, and with one being out of the picture and one in the picture, I think she might lead herself to marry Will. And if she does that, what's going to happen when we hear from Ben again? The war's going to be over. If he was sick in a hospital, he'll come home. If he was a prisoner of war in a camp, he'll come home. So that's just my theory, my scenario. Don't yet. Haven't read it. All right, what you got? She's in the middle of a conflict. I agree that she is not letting. Yep, God handle it. You're exactly right. Yes, I'm glad she went to live with Will too. And all through her life, we've seen her follow God. But I think it's her age, you know, young, 17, she wasn't quite 18. And this was her first relationship, her first little crush, her first time that she felt feelings for a man. So I think she just got overzealous and forgot that we can't make important decisions, especially an important decision like marriage, without getting God involved. So they were such a constant blessing in so many ways. Yes. Yep. Yes. Yes. And like I said, with Will's mother, I think Elizabeth's going to teach her how to soften her heart and how to receive help, because it doesn't sound like she's ever gotten it and doesn't know how to receive it. So if anybody, like I said, needs prayer, has a request, leave it in the comments. We'll meet again next week. I know we've talked about God a lot, but you know me, I cannot end a video without a scripture. So what we're going to do, what's this? Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Mara. Oh, you watch all of them? Oh my gosh. How do you watch all of them? I can barely watch all. I do too much, but I enjoy it. I have fun. And without God's help and the Holy Spirit, I couldn't do any of it. But it's fun. I enjoy it. And I enjoy reaching out to people. Like I said, I'm just a simple country girl, but I know a little bit. So I just want to share that. And we're all commanded to be evangelists, which means to share the good word. So I'm just trying to let God tell me I did good. But right now, we're going to find a verse. Well, I have a verse I picked out of my box. And this verse always hits something home with us, something we're studying, something we're going through, confirmation of something we talked about in this lesson with this reading on our book club. So let's see what God has for us today. All right. We're going to be reading 1 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 11. Okay. This is confirmation. Confirmation. This is confirmation for Sheila and her sister, and confirmation for you, Mara. Look to the Lord and his strength. Seek his face always. Never forget, God is your strength. He can do all things, anything. He is the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning, the end. He is powerful, and he can do all things. So that's the end of this for the book club. But if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do, because I do everything. What's my channel's name? This, that, and everything else. So we cook, we craft, we haul, we shop, we garden. We do it all. So hit that subscribe button so you'll know when I put out videos. And stay blessed, stay healthy, stay in God's presence. And until we meet again, remember Genesis 31:49. The Lord watch between me and thee when we are absent from one another.